Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha. Apologies for the delay in this English broadcast. On 22nd December 2016, Commissioner HR&C Department tendered an unconditional apology in Honorable Madras High Court. We saw that the Honorable Madras High Court had initiated suo motu, a public interest litigation against the HR&C. We also saw that we should perform services as prescribed by the holy text related to the particular temple and as per the religious and sampradaya guidelines practiced in the temple, practice what we learned, and also learned that HR&C department can only manage immovable properties of temples. With this knowledge, we have to ensure that we restrain the HR&C department from interfering in routine pujas and festivals. With the Honorable High Court directing HR&C to get inputs from UNESCO, Agama experts, and stakeholders, left with no option, the HR&C department approached seeking UNESCO's comments on the manual that they had prepared. UNESCO responded stating that it is impossible to judge the quality of a manual which is presented to them with no background and no information on why such a new manual is attempted to be made when there are enough already existing, who is the end user of the manual, why such a manual is prepared in the first place, if there are any legal provisions which will mandate the adherence of procedures laid out in the manual. We saw the detailed list of questions in the last post. HR&C had no answers for any of these questions. Yes, you heard me right. They had never had the answers to these basic questions that were asked by UNESCO. Yes, it is a great mistake to have allowed this department, which cannot even answer certain fundamental common sense questions. Having not given the answers to these questions, in the next hearing, the government pleader on behalf of HR&CE opened his argument with a lie yet again. He stated that UNESCO had certified that their manual is good and also recommended to use the manual on a pilot project. But within the next few minutes, this lie was exposed by the petitioners in the court hall. Let's see how they achieved it. The government pleader had stated that the UNESCO had sent in an email appreciating their efforts. Hearing this, the petitioners requested a copy of the same to the Honorable Judge, who in turn directed the government pleader to provide one to the petitioners. The petitioners were shell-shocked when they read the email. The letter written by UNESCO was completely misrepresented by HR&C in the court hall. UNESCO had stated in the letter that it cannot consider the document presented to them by the HR&C as a manual in their professional understanding. This is the opinion of a document produced by this department by an international organization, a great shame for our nation. Also in the letter, UNESCO had stated that it is not right to rush into a manual in such a short period of time. They also had stated that the manual cannot be validated unless it is tested on the ground and informed by practical experience, and they had suggested to take a small conservation project as a pilot case. Also, they had stated that a typical conservation manual should provide who does what, when, and how regarding routine maintenance, time-bound conservation projects, and emergency situations which the document fails to address. Based on the information provided by the additional commissioner, the government pleader placed such lies. He obviously had not checked the email and thus was very embarrassed in the court hall for his arguments. The Honorable Chief Justice condemned this heavily. Also, he passed an order directing the HR&C department to work with UNESCO and added the suggestions from UNESCO on how they can help in the order as well. Before seeing what UNESCO had suggested in the letter on how they can help HR&CE, let's first understand what UNESCO is. Where is it located? What are their specialities and what are their skill sets? What are their objectives? Is it a religious organization? Which country do the people who work in this organization belong to, etc. It is obvious that many of us do not really know anything about UNESCO, and so we fall into traps set by elements which do propaganda against UNESCO. Let's see about that in the next post. As usual, please do send in your comments to ourtemplesourpride@gmail.com. You can also see the audio video of these broadcasts in YouTube at www.tinyurl.com/ourtemplesourpride. We also now have a Facebook channel at www.facebook.com/ourtemplesourpride. See you tomorrow. Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha.